any word on Cruise with Confidence being extended? Actually, the opposite, Jay. Royal Caribbean Senior Vice President of Trade, who's Vicky Freed, said about a couple weeks ago, Jay, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, that 2 or 3 weeks ago, she does not expect Cruise with Confidence to be extended. Could that change? Yes. But she went on the record and said she doesn't think it's going to be extended, Jay. So I would say if you're looking to book a cruise right now, you want to make sure to take advantage of it now. Get your booking locked in before the Cruise with Confidence program ends, which I know you're asking, Matt, when does Cruise with Confidence end? December 17th. As long as you have your cruise booked before December 17th, you're good to go. And by the way, that applies for cruises through April 30th, 2022. So do you need to take passports ashore in Cozumel and Nassau? This is a really harshly debated topic. I believe the answer is yes. In my opinion and in my experience, I take my passport off the ship when I go to a foreign country that's not Perfect Day at Cococay. Cozumel, Nassau, I would take. Why do I take my passport off the ship? Well, the reason to have your passport is if you get stuck in there, you get injured, you fall behind, you lose track of time, and you get stuck, the ship leaves without you. If you have your passport, you can go to right to the airport and fly home, no problem. If you don't have your passport with you, then you have to go to the U.S. Embassy. And the nearest embassy from Cozumel is many, many hours and boat rides away. There isn't a U.S. Embassy in Cozumel. And the reason you have to go to an embassy is to get an exit visa. So bring your passport with you. Now, a lot of people say, well, Matt, what if you lose the passport? What if I lose my wife? What if I lose my wallet? What if I lose any valuable? I mean, you can't think like that. You've got to take certain precautions, certainly, and make sure you have all your belongings and you have them, within eyesight, and you're not being cavalier with your own personal security. But I would say, just like the cash in my pocket, just like my cell phone, which I bring with me, or my camera, you take certain precautions. Reasonably speaking, you should be okay. And in my opinion, it's the more responsible thing to do to have your passport just in case you got left behind. That's my opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are like, Matt, you are totally wrong. And you know what, Tony Diaz? I don't care. Tell us about your Star Class experience. It's probably the closest I'll get to the ExoJet Jay Griffith as my pilot kind of lifestyle right there. It was really cool. The thing with we were on Harmony of the Seas, and I was in Star Class, which is the uppermost tier of the suite experience. So that means we had a Royal Genie, and we go to any specialty restaurant we wanted. We get specialty restaurant food delivered to our room. It was a really cool thing, Joanne. But for me, the thing was, it was very much a learning experience because they give you a list of things you can do, but it's only the starting point. It's really up to you to ask the genie for things, if you will. And, the first couple of days, I don't think I quite took advantage of as I did later on in the cruise, but it was a lot of fun. We had one day we had an Indian lunch meal served on our balcony. The kids had a ice cream sundae cart with all the toppings and a ton of flavors brought to the room. It was really, really cool. Are there many activities to do with the kids at Cococay other than the water park? Heck yeah, there are. I mean, you've got the beach, you've got the pool, and within the pool, there's little splash areas. You've got, obviously, you can do snorkeling, you can do a shore excursion if you'd like to, but it's beach and pool time, Jay. In addition to all of that, there's actually Splash Away Bay and Captain Jill's Galleon. Those are splash areas with water slides for younger kids. I'd say if your kids are under the age of 10 or so, it's very age appropriate for that group, and that's complimentary. What would you say is the best Alaska shore excursions? I think, obviously, best is subjective, right? But I would say the best one is definitely any excursion that takes you onto a glacier, right? The problem is getting there. You're either taking a seaplane or you're taking a helicopter. Those can be a little scary. But if you can get up there, my goodness, there's nothing else like that because that is just the top, I think, echelon of Alaska shore excursions. Being on the glacier is unlike anything else. Now, I've never done it myself, but everybody who talks to me who's done it before definitely, they love it. Is there a reason why there are only 3 Freedom class ships compared to 5 Quantum, 5 Voyager, and soon to be 5 Oasis class? That's an excellent question. In general, why are there, there were actually 6 Vision class ships, 2 of them already out of the fleet. There were 3 Sovereign class ships. So why a discrepancy? A lot of it, the reason is, generally speaking, it has to do mostly with the market conditions when they place the order. You have to remember that in a lot of cases, when cruise ships are ordered, they're ordered 3, 4, even 5 years in advance of when they'll actually sail. And it's really a reflection of where the market is at that time. And, cruise ships cost, These days, each ship is $1 billion with a B. Certainly, all the Oasis class ships are. So I think it's a combination of where the market is. I think saturation levels, where they're seeing kind of where the fleet is. What kind of market share they think they can handle. They don't want to have too many ships out there and too many rooms out there that'll have too much supply and not enough demand. But at the same time, they want to be able to grow with the industry as it moves forward. And I think honestly, part of the answer may just simply be that cruising today has changed a lot from when the Freedom class was out there. Remember, the Freedom class debuted right after 9/11 in the early 2000s, right? So those orders were placed in the late 90s. The industry is very different from the late 90s as it is here today. And I think that's kind of a reflection of all that. So it's a very generalized answer of it depends on a lot of different conditions that are out there. What time do you disembark now with COVID protocols? Basically, same as before. You can get off the ship depending on when your ship is cleared, as early as 7:30 or so. Kind of depends, of course, when your ship docks and when they're cleared by the authorities. But you can get, if you're doing the self assist disembarkation where you take your own luggage off with you, it's pretty much like it was before. The only real difference, Tri-State, is when if you have a luggage tag number and you're waiting. You don't go to a common area to wait. You don't go to one of those lounges. You actually now wait in your room, which I like a whole lot more. So that's really the biggest difference right there. When can we usually see what shows will be on board? So Royal Caribbean does not usually post the entertainment in advance. You can check the Royal Caribbean Cruise app about a couple weeks, maybe about a week or so before your cruise, and it may start showing up in there. But honestly, Amanda, your best bet is to look at a past cruise compass. The cruise compasses are given out during the cruise, but we keep an archive of them at royalcaribbeanblog.com. If you go to our main menu, click on cruise compasses right there, you can find a ship. Don't forget, they're not changing the entertainment all that much, if at all, from sailing to sailing. So just find the ship you're sailing on, similar itinerary, and you can get a good idea of what to expect. Are the stateroom decorations worth it? These are the ones I assume you mean you could purchase through Royal Caribbean. I mean, they're nice. We've done them I remember when we had our honeymoon, our travel agent bought it. And when we've done certain anniversary cruises, I purchased it for my wife. It's nice to have. It shows, it kind of sound like, kind of way to show you care a little bit more, I guess. Ultimately, I think they're a little overpriced, but hey, if it's your birthday, someone's birthday, anniversary, why not go for it? It's kind of, and someone does all the hard work for you. Is Solarium Bistro a good choice for dinner on embarkation night? Absolutely. It's a great choice. Actually, it's a very underrated restaurant. So I would say, yes, it's a great choice for you to go to, whether it's embarkation day or not. I know that cruise ships have specialty restaurants oftentimes with the cover charge. Is there any way I get discounts on those special restaurants? Do you know any tips for that? Yes, there is one way to do it. On board the ship, ask. The most common way to do it, the best strategy, Taiwu, is when you're sitting around the ship or you're walking around the ship and you see one of these specialty restaurant waiters walking around with a menu trying to get reservations. Ask them, hey, I'd love to eat at Chops Grill or Jamie's Italian or whatever. Do you have any discounts? And in those situations, yes, I've seen discounts available for that. Of course, the other way to really get the best price consistently for a specialty restaurant is to book a dining package. There's no doubt in my mind, dining packages do save you money compared to booking the same amount of restaurants individually. But if you're saying, Matt, I just want to eat at like Chops Grill one night, then stop by and say, listen, I want to eat here, but I'm not paying $50 to eat here for one night. Is there any kind of discount or offering you can do that? Yeah. Thoughts on letting them choose your room? You're going to save money on it. Basically, Robbie, if you let Royal Caribbean choose your room, which is the guaranteed room, then basically you're going to allow them to choose the room, which means the location is probably not going to be dead center. It might be on or whatever deck. It really comes down to, like, do you care? Some people don't care. Like, I don't really care if my room is, down this hallway or on this deck or that deck. Like, it doesn't usually matter. But like my parents, Robbie, who absolutely positively always want to be center of the ship, lower deck, so they can minimize the effects of motion in the ocean if that occurs. They will always they'll pay more for the ability to choose a room because for them it is that important. I think it really boils down to how much does the room location matter to you. And I think there's two reasons why it might. One is if you're concerned about being seasick, and the other is if you are just you want to minimize your walking, right? You don't want to walk all the way down the hallway all the way to the end. You might also say, well, I prefer to be in a room that's near the pool deck. So that way, getting to and from the pool deck is easy. Or maybe you want to be on a deck that's closer to the Royal Promenade, so you can easily get back and forth there. There's an argument to be made. But listen, if you can save a lot of money, Robbie, I would be the first to sign up to book a guaranteed stateroom. Just understand the trade-offs of booking one, so you're aware of that. Hi, Matt. How is Adventure Ocean these days? Are they still limited to 2 sessions? It's not necessarily 2 sessions. They are very much limited capacity. On our ship, they had like, depending on the grouping, I think like Explorers like 13 kids or Voyagers with 13 kids, and there's a little bit more for the other groups. They're like I said earlier, I feel like they haven't quite scaled up the capacity to meet the increased capacity on the ships. I suspect that will happen. In fact, I know that after about 2 or 3 days on board, the Adventure Ocean staff mentioned they had a call with Shoreside, with Royal Caribbean headquarters, to discuss the issue. So I hope that gets solved very, very soon. What is your recommendation to book dining options prior to the cruise? We're not able to get any special dining. We waited till we got on. Really? I'm surprised about that. I mean, in general, I have been able to, when I book a dining package, to then go to the restaurant and make a reservation. Maybe it may not be the exact time. I'm not that picky. Like, I don't care if it's 6:30 or 7 or even 7:30. I do care if it's like 9 o'clock, but that rarely happens as long as you get on board the ship quickly and take advantage of it. But obviously, if Debbie, you are saying, Matt, I want to eat at Chops Grill on day 3 at 6:30, and if it's anything but day 3 at 6:30 at Chops, I will be disappointed. Well, then definitely book in advance. That's the trade-off, right? Booking in advance, you're paying more because you're paying full price for the cover charge, but you get to pick the day, the time. You're good, and then you're all set. No problem. With a dining package, you will save money because you're foregoing that opportunity to book a specific day and time until you get on board the ship. So if you're flexible, the dining package is right for you. If you're not, then booking individual restaurants is the way to go. No doubt about it. Traveling from Canada will not make the 2-day testing requirement. Does Royal Caribbean provide testing at the port on the day of embarkation? They do. It's meant as a fallback, Keith. So what you want to do as a primary is get a test when you get, I guess, to the U.S. Don't forget, if you're flying into the U.S., almost every airport has COVID tests available in the airport. So I would Google whatever airport, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando International Airport, COVID test, schedule something in the airport itself. You could always do that. That's probably the easiest because you're already in the airport. It's a simple walk. You don't have to take another car or another ride in order to get there. That might be the best solution. But yes, Royal Caribbean does offer testing at the terminal, but it's very expensive. Probably no cheaper, certainly, than the airport testing. And on top of that, it's only available to book 24 hours before the cruise begins. And on top of all of that, there are only limited capacity for it. So I would hate for you to pin your hopes on that and then find nothing available for you. So I would say go for the airport, be number one. You could also go to a number of urgent cares are a good option, Keith. We have a lot of urgent cares in the U.S. They're called by different names. Some is urgent care, Minute Clinic. There's a number of them. If you Google, again, Fort Lauderdale urgent cares, these places don't usually take reservations, but you can simply walk in and get a test done. That might be a good option for you as well. How does Star Class work? It's basically it's booking the room, Roy. So certain categories of suites are Star Class. You can't apply like Star Class to like a balcony room or a junior suite. It is for the top tier suites that are out there. So when you book it, it's one of those rooms. There's like the Star Loft suite, the 2-bedroom Aqua Theater suite. Those are specifically Star Class rooms. And if you book those rooms, then it automatically comes with Star Class. You'll know it's Star Class because you're probably paying the cost of a new car, maybe an American car, but you're going to be paying for it nonetheless. What's the difference between concierge and the Royal Genie? Concierge is a shared experience. So basically, everybody in a suite has access to the concierge. The concierge has certain hours, and you go to the concierge in their office, and they can help you. They're basically glorified guest services for you. The Royal Genie is personalized. The Royal Genie only has you and maybe 2 or 3 other cabins. The Royal Genie can arrange everything for you. It's a much more personalized experience. It's kind of like having a butler, not quite a butler because they don't like live in your cabin with you, but they come and bring you things. They arrange things on your behalf. They basically escort you around the ship for certain activities. They're your go-between, and it's more personalized because the concierge you're sharing with everybody else who are suite guests, and they don't do half the things the Genie can do, which is really the value of that. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Enjoy. See ya. Bye-bye.